So if someone can attend to them. Okay, so hello and welcome to everyone present here for today's session. I'm Arya from the Nature Sci team, and I will be hosting today's webinar along with my other teammates, and they're all present here. And a very warm welcome to our speaker, Sushant Gade sir, and a big thank you to everyone for taking out their time to join us. Now, firstly, we would like to introduce our team. So we, the Nature Sci powered by Wildlife Arc, is a group of nature enthusiasts who wish to share our knowledge and experience with the world. We strive to bring informative and educational content from the tiny living world to the city dwellers. And our motto is to empower environmentalists everywhere. And we aim to create opportunities for, especially for budding environmentalists and also people who are thinking of joining the field all newly. And we have a lot of programs to bring this about. And this workshop is also one such attempt to bring together all the people related to this field, to environmental sciences and the upstanding cause of conservation, and initiate dialogue on some very important topics that are not discussed. They are very important, but they're still not touched by a lot of people. So also there are a number of such events on the line as well, similar to this one. And we would like to inform you that we have an event on 16th of April on green career building, just the discussion we were having prior to this, the question Shivam just asked. So on that, further information will be shared at the end of the session. So you have to stay tuned through the end. So now coming back to today's webinar, we know is based on ecopreneurship and its challenges, particularly in waste management and competing demands of mission and as well as profit. So a lot of people here who are not relevant to the field might also not know what ecopreneurship means. So it is basically just a collective term that represents the process and principles of entrepreneurship, and when it is applied in businesses that solve environmental related issues, and also for businesses that just uh, aspire to operate sustainably. So now introducing our speaker today, Mr. Sushant Gade sir, is an ecopreneur, an urban planner, industry consultant, and an enthusiastic practicing garbologist and consulting environmentalist with a decade of techno-managerial experience in the domain of environmental management and technology, with specialization in waste management and recycling technology operations. Now, I will hand it over to him to continue this and introduce himself a little more if I have missed out on something, because he has a very long list of experiences. And also, I would request all participants to keep their mics muted throughout the session so that there is no disturbance. If you do have any doubts in the middle of the session, make sure that you enter it in the chat box then and there, so you don't forget it later on, and we will take it up after the session in a doubt session with Sushant sir. So Sushant sir, can you please take over?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to appreciate and thanks the Nature Sci Foundation for giving me an opportunity to speak on this webinar, which I feel it will be a value added of a lot of students and scholars whoever has participated here. I will try to simplify my presentation as much as simple possible, okay, so that I will not make it much complicated and make you confusing or make you feel very complicated seminar webinar. Okay, so let me start sharing the screen. Okay. Everyone can see it. Yeah, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay. So first of all, ecopreneurship. I use this term ecopreneurship because this is a modern word, okay, for any environmentalist who wants to, make a business, okay, with the environment. Business in environment, it doesn't mean that he wants to make money, but it is also related to the protection of environment and social socialistic aspect also he need to look into it, like about the people's welfare or what exactly is happening around society, how it is benefited to the society. And of course, at the end of the day, a little money to keep up the projects running. Okay, so overall sustainability, to have the sustainability, the environmentalist will be an ecopreneur. Okay, so environmentalist will become an ecopreneur in order to satisfy these three aspects in order to be a successful entrepreneur in environment field. I hope you got it. So there is no specific word. Ecopreneurship is nothing different. It's just entrepreneurship, but related to environment. And especially today, we were dealing this subject with waste management, because that is the biggest subject and biggest problem today, which needs sustainability in order to lead a better future for us and as well as for our future generations. So there is a new approach. Now, basically, let me tell you what is waste management first. Waste management will remain as a subject as long as the population is there. But we all have to agree that, right? As long as population is there, there will be a development of cities, urbanization will be there. There will be development of, a lot of infrastructure development will be there. So along with that, the waste will also grow. If you say infrastructure, then C&D waste, construction demolition waste. If you say households population, then municipal solid waste. If you say industries, then hazardous waste, industrial waste. So as long as the urbanization grows, the waste will be growing. So we cannot escape that. First of all, we have to accept that fact. And how far we have to lead it. We have to manage that, right? We have to manage that waste. We can't just throw and sit at our home. We have to see where it is going. It is piling up behind our house, in front of our house. It is piling up. So we need to manage that waste. So since few decades, I can say, hardly people are striving and struggling to manage these wastes through different approaches. Someone is making composting with organic waste, green waste, okay, so that the organic content will be consumed by the bacteria, and then it will become the compost. And then someone is making biogas with the same green waste and with the same vegetable and fruit waste and organic waste. Someone is making biogas, and someone is making pellets, refuse derived fuel pellets, RDF pellets. That means after you make composting, after you making biogas, whatever is left over, which you cannot do anything, that you will make it like a pellet, and that pellet you will burn it to release the energy. That is nothing but the RDF. Well, in a very simple process, I'm saying. I'm not going into the subject. There's a lot of process in that. And some are going for waste to energy. That is the end thing. Okay, so you burn the waste and you in a controlled manner, and then you remove all the you segregate it, sort it out, remove all the plastic content, whatever content you feel hazardous, you remove that, and rest of the remaining waste you convert it into energy. So these are the different technologies we see. A lot of technologies have come into existence, like pyrolysis, incineration. A lot of technologies have come in different countries based on the availability of their budget, based on the availability of land. Because just to introduce technology, we can't do it, because we need to have land, we need to have that much budget, we need to have that much skill to operate that machine, we need to have a manpower, dedicated manpower. And unfortunately, in waste management, the biggest problem is manpower. People stay for 10 days and they will go out, because this is waste. No one wants to work here. Okay, so this is the problem. Starting from manpower to technology, there are different challenges, and these challenges differ from country to country based on the economic factor, based on the environmental factor, based on the social factor. That is the reason there is a challenge for every company, for every waste management company to sustain. There is a challenge to manage their business as well as to protect the interest of the business. So that is how the sustainability comes. Now, sustainability, as we know, in a very simple word, that whatever resources we are using it today, okay, whatever resources we are using it today, we need to think about the future, and we need to use those resources in a very conservative manner so that our future generation will be saved. That is nothing but a very simply, I'm saying, sustainability. So a new approach for sustainability and waste management. Now, how these environmental companies will sustain, and how these waste management companies are evolving, and what is the problem? What is happening in the waste management company? Why the waste management companies are very low? If you see any banking industry, there are a lot of banks. If you see any construction company, there are a lot of construction companies. But have you ever heard any waste management companies? No, you hardly heard, very few. Maybe in your fingers you have to name them. Not only in India, across the world. Even if you take US, maybe 5 to 10 top companies. Even in India, hardly less than 5. If you take Arab countries, hardly again 5 to 10 companies. So all these are maybe in the world, hardly not more than 100 top companies are there in the world. Just 100 to 150 companies. That's it. So these companies, of course, these companies have the sister companies. Okay, these companies are not the main core companies, but they have the sister companies where they are managing the waste. The same, suppose company A, it is having company B who is doing composting. It is having company C who is doing biogas. It is having company C who is doing landfill operations. So, but the company is the A, main company is A. That's how I'm saying in numbers. Otherwise, if you calculate sister companies, there are many companies which are there. So now let us go one by one. Waste management. The solid waste management system, a typical waste management system, is a low or middle income country, includes the following elements: waste generation and storage. First of all, as I told you, the population, as long as population is there, there is a waste generation. Okay. And that waste generation, what we call today, is per capita. That means each person, how much quantity of waste you are generating is called per capita waste. See, a lot of things I have not mentioned in the presentation. The presentation is very brief, but I want to explain you much because I want you to listen rather than seeing it. Okay. So per capita is the waste generation per person. That is how you calculate. That's how this subject starts, the waste management starts. So suppose if you are staying in an apartment, in a flat where 10 people are there. So each person, as a standard in Hyderabad, let's say in Hyderabad or any metro city, 0.5 to 0.6 is the per capita. 0.5 kg to 0.6 kg is the per capita waste generation per day. That is the assumption. So if 10 people are there, so 0.5 into 10. That is how the generation of waste per day. That is called tons per day, or kg per day. So that's how we calculate, okay, how many flats are there, then how many members are there, how many people are there, okay, in the city, how much waste is there. That's how we calculate the waste generation. Now, after generating of waste, the next problem is the storage. We need to store that waste, right? After generating, immediately it will not disappear, or immediately someone will not collect. You need to have some storage. Again, there is a challenge that storage, you need to have bins. In every household, we hardly have a bin. We spend a lot of money, but no one is bothered to spend segregated bins. Just keep your hands on your heart and just speak out if you have segregated bins at your house. Really, are you really segregating or not? This is how the main problem comes. This is the only problem today. If you study any research article, if you go to any waste management company, the entire problem is linked to only one thing, that from house to house, the waste is not coming in a segregated form. That is the first thing. That is the mindset of the people. So if you start segregating, that things will automatically become very easy. If you start segregating, what happens? The dry waste will go separately, wet waste will go separately. The wet waste will go to composting, biogas, and other processes. Dry waste will go for segregation, plastics, recycling, reuse, everything, and then go for further technologies. So this is how the process. But today, what is happening? Everything is mixed. And that is the main problem. If everything is mixed, so no one, no one is bothered to take care. If you are not doing your job, why I have to do my job? That's what people's mentality. Okay, the person who is collecting, if you are not segregating, you will just put it because you don't have time to segregate. It's not my job. You say it's your job to segregate and give me. Then I will collect and go to the dump site or landfill or whatever it is. So that's how the process. So storage is the main thing. If you can properly store the waste materials, then I'm sure 90% of waste management problems will be solved, because the problem starts here. Again, I'm saying, remember this word, the problem starts here, the household, house to house, door to door segregation. Okay. And then coming to the second line, segregation, reuse and recycling at the household level, as I mentioned you. Then primary waste collection, the person who is collecting your waste, he should have a proper segregated system, like his auto or rickshaw, whatever he is bringing in. He need to have the compartments for the dry waste separately and for the waste separately. Otherwise, he cannot, right? Even if you segregate, everything will go waste. So that is the reason primary waste, that is called primary waste collection. Primary waste collection means from door to door, collecting whatever the vehicle is, it is called primary waste collection station. Should have people. Transfer stations are the temporary storage. What these primary vehicles are getting in. So these primary waste vehicles will get the waste to the transfer stations, where the transfer station will temporarily store the waste, and from the transfer station, it will go to the final disposal facility or treatment facility or processing facility, whatever we call. So within the transfer station, what happens? Further segregation happens. In the households, you cannot segregate very at micro level that this is LED, this is plastic, different types. This is glass, this is metal, this is rubber, this is LED tube light. You cannot segregate at your household level. You just want to segregate, okay, this is paper, this is food, this is organic waste or whatever it is. Just you will segregate at that level. In transfer stations, what happens? Further micro level segregation takes place. That is what sorting, segregation further takes place. And then after that, whatever the remaining waste is there, that will go to the processing facility, either composting or biogas, whatever facilities are available within your city, it will go there. So, or else, if transfer station is not there, then it will go to the community bin. Community bin means the roadside bins, what you see, the big bins. Of course, now every city has become binless. Most of the cities, in fact, the government has made binless city. We don't want to keep any bins on the roads. So what happens? This waste should directly go to the nearest transfer station. Okay, so he has to travel whether 10 kilometers or 5 kilometers. It doesn't matter. The guy has to travel and has to put the waste to the transfer station. That is how it happens. Otherwise, what happens? They usually keep it in the bins, and the bins may get damaged, so they will become vulnerable point on the roads. That's how you see on the road a lot of garbage points, right? Black spots you see. Why? Because bins are damaged. Someone don't keep the bins, so bins are missing. So a lot of these things happen. So in such instances, what happens? They have directly go to the transfer station, nearest transfer stations, and they will dispose that waste. So that is all. And sorry, I missed the slide. Okay. Okay. And then apart from this, street sweeping and I'm sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. So again, we have another type of waste called street sweeping and cleaning of public places. This waste will also come apart from the households. Okay. Even these waste will also go to the community bin or transfer stations. Waste types, I don't want to further elaborate because, municipal solid waste, which comes from household, as I told you, industrial waste, which comes from industries, biomedical waste, which comes from hospitals, So the name itself it will call. So I don't want to explain further on that. So management of transfer station or community bin secondary connection to transport to waste disposal site, waste disposal in landfill. Okay, so if transfer station is not there directly, it will go to the landfill. Landfill is just a big, just a dump, a heavy dump. You take the area and just dump it. That is called the landfill. Basically, these landfills are engineered landfill, or it's a very simple landfill. Actually, you can't call the name landfill. You call it as a dump site. If the dump site is engineered, that means it is properly managed with a proper HDP liner. Okay, what happens normally, just for information, the dump sites are created by us. Okay, they are the very centralized disposal points created in each city. In every city, we see dump site. Like in Delhi, we see Ghaziabad, and a lot of places we see. There's the biggest dump site. Now, these dump sites, what happens? Basically, we have to engineer it. Okay, we have to rehabilitate, and we have to engineer it. What we do normally, we keep the HDPE liner, and that HDPE is a plastic thick metal, thick plastic sheet, HDPE liner, and on that HDPE liner we dump the waste. Of course, there are a lot of components there. We put soil also, and then we put the waste. And once the dig is full, then we will put the pipes to extract the methane gases. Because what happens if you close the dig? What happens? The waste inside the heat, it will become heat, and it will release the methane gas. And methane is very dangerous. Sometimes it will burst. It is carcinogenic also. So in order to capture properly the methane gas, we put the HDP pipes to capture the methane. And these methane gases will capture and convert it into energy. That's how the waste to energy process goes on. Very simply said. Okay, again, there's a lot of scientific process, not so easy as I told you, but this is the basic skeleton of the any landfill or dump site. So dump site is basically whenever someone says dump site, it's just a dump site. You are just throwing it and coming back. Landfill is something scientifically engineered. So just make sure you remember these words. Now, the collection, transport, and treatment of recyclables at all points of the solid waste pathway. Okay, and the collection, first is the collection, first is the generation, then is the storage. Okay, and after storage, you go to the transfer station. There you segregate, sort it, and then you transport it, and then you will go for the treatment or processing or disposal. So these are the this is the hierarchy and the different steps in a waste management system, basically. Now coming to the next step. About 3R strategy: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, now these days someone is calling strategy also. Further 5R is also there. Reduce. The most significant benefits can be implemented independently. It may lead to significant cost saving, automatically decreases future waste management efforts. How? Because if you want to reduce your waste, it will lead to savings, right? Definitely, it's a direct there's no need to explain that. Now, automatically it will decrease the future waste management effort. You may not put something effort to manage that. It is automatically reduced. Now, challenges need to be implemented mainly at the design stage. So, just to give an example, let's say maybe a pizza. Let's say a pizza. I'm giving maybe a silly example. I'm giving you a pizza. When you order, they'll give you a very big box, right? And when you throw it, it occupies a lot of space. But whatever pizza you take it's in a triangle shape. And the funny about pizza is when you order it in a circle, and when they pack it is in the square, and when you eat it is in a triangle. So it's very surprising. But why don't they make the triangle packing the pizza to save the space? So just giving an example about the design. So every product, when they are manufacturing, when they are delivering, when they are manufacturing, they need to see at the design stage. Because that is the reason these days design engineering has got a lot of importance, because the design packaging, especially lot of food products packaging have been changed in the recent days. just because to avoid landfill space. Because if you throw it, it occupies space, it occupies the landfill. That's how they have they have been changing the design of the products from the starting stage only. That is a challenge. Now reuse reduce some of the need for new materials purchase. You need not purchase new materials to again use that material, so you can reuse them. But what are the challenges? Again, lower potential cost savings compared to reduce and recycle. Okay, and may require additional resources for third party involvement, equipment or expertise. Properties or individual materials are important for possible implementation. Let's say some one of your vehicle got damaged. You want to repair it. Okay, so the cost of repair will be sometimes more than the cost of replacement. The replacement of the part. What happens sometimes they will give you the used part.
Like this.
They will give you the used part.
See, these are empty. If you want.
Yeah, so they will give you the used part to replace it. That's how the reuse it comes into picture. So for everything there is a alternative thing if you really look into the cost savings. Then recycle, highest potential cost savings is there for recycle, right? And may create revenue by selling the material. So all these things are benefits for the recycling. Now again, you may require additional resources for the challenges for the third party involvement, because in order to recycle you need to hire some manufacturers, you need to hire some person in order to recycle the product. So again there is a challenge. So that is the reason what happening, an ecopreneur, when he is trying to do something, there is some challenge. So how to overcome these challenges is a very important. So that's how innovation comes into picture. That's how changing the law, changing the policies and the technology, adapting new technologies. These are important things. Now PPP model, I will tell you, any waste management business, you cannot do it by your own. A private company cannot do it, cannot do waste management business. A government alone cannot do waste management business. So they have to collaborate along with some NGOs also. For example, a private company, they have money, they will buy the vehicles, they will buy the technology, everything. But where do they get waste? How do they collect? They can't go to door. They have to ask government, right? Then what government will say? Okay, we will give you the waste, but how you are going to manage? Tell me. Per ton of waste, I will give you money if you manage. You do composting, you do biogas, whatever technology you adapt, show me the technology, and per ton or per kg, I will pay you this much money. You process it. That's how the model comes. And in this process, what happens? Some NGOs will come into picture. They will tell, sir, I will help you for recycling. I'll take your plastics and make some bottles. I'll take your glasses and make some unique products. You see on the roadsides, we see a lot of these tribal people and some people, they are selling small products, right? For 50 rupees, 100 rupees, or to maybe 200 rupees. They are selling some glass bulbs with lights in it. Have you seen it? Anyone of you saw it? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then someone answer. Don't hesitate to answer.
Yes, sir. Can you please repeat it?
No, okay. What I'm saying is, in order to we usually see on the roadsides, people sell a lot of decorative items made of glass bottles or plastic bottles, right? So
Yes.
most of us might have seen it. That is nothing but they are reusing the materials. They are reusing the materials. Okay, whatever leftover bottles, leftover plastics are there, they are actually reusing those materials and they are making creative this thing. So these are being supported by the NGOs. So there is a participation of NGOs in this PPP model. PPP is private public partnership model. The waste management business will be successful only through private public partnership models. Otherwise, for doing this business alone by government, it is not possible. Alone by citizens, it is not possible. Alone by society, community is not possible. Alone by private players, it is not possible. So everyone has to come together, collaborate, and then only they have to work. So here I have mentioned what are the benefits of the government. financial participation from outside sources, okay, better risk management, okay, they means government cannot take can avoid that risk if they are managing the waste. Government can concentrate on core business, means whatever they are for government, they can concentrate on that instead of daily thinking about waste se kya karna, what to do with this waste. Instead of that, they will actually focus on their core jobs. And then better feedback from the users, eased technology has it. So these are the benefit to the government in order to they adapt proper waste management system. Again, to citizens also, time and save cost savings, greater confidence in the service delivery, best of the state of art delivery, empowerment of citizens, and better customer care. And benefits to private partners, again, exposure and learning experiences, knowing government customers who are different, serving wider community, development of additional competencies and skills, and boost employment opportunities. So these are the benefits to the private partners. Now, benefits to society and community, better utilization of government funds, close relationship with government and community of users, better quality of life, development of a competitive IT industry. So these are some of the benefits if they participate in proper PPP model to manage the waste, which is the only way to manage the waste. If anyone have any doubts, please you can ask it. Okay, don't hesitate. You can ask directly if you don't understand anything. Okay, some things may be complex. It may not reach you to your mind because you need to practice those terminology well once you are in this field. And some things are very simple. That's the reason I'm giving a very in-depth explanation for each single point. Now, waste management technology options. Now, what are the again? See, we have read the challenges. If you look at the back slide here, we see the benefits for the recycle, reuse, and reduce. Again, challenges we are seeing here. Now, when you are implementing technology, also there are some challenges. What are those challenges? Now, recycling, if you are doing advantages, conservation of resources, supply of raw materials to industry, reduction of waste disposal to landfill, and incineration. These are the advantages. Now, disadvantages, diverse range of process emissions from recycling process, maybe more energy used for process than original manufacture, currently low demand for products, require cooperation from individuals, order, noise, nuisance and everything. So recycling, what happens basically if you are practicing a recycling of a product, you do not have purchase raw materials. Again, you need not buy any raw materials. Just whatever products are available, the damaged parts or whatever, you are using the same material. That's how the advantage. But the disadvantage is you are consuming more energy for the used process. Already you have spent some energy for the process. Again, for the process, you are again using more energy, right? So then there is a low demand for products. You see, I think anyone of you saw that show called Shark Tank India. There is a episode called Shark Tank India. In that, I've seen few people, startups come up with the recycling products, very good products. They have come up with a very good recycling product. They made it with bottles, glass bottles, and everything. But when they look at their margins, when they look at the profit, very low. No one is opting for that. So my request to all of you is, whenever you go to a store, if you see that it is made up of recycling, it is a recycled product, please prefer to buy that. Okay, so that means we are adding value to the environment. Hardly there are very few shops, very few upcycling shops. It's called upcycling stores. Very few upcycling stores we have. So whenever you see a product, try to buy those products so that you feel that you are adding value to the environment. Even though you are not doing any solid thing for the environment, you feel like you did something. Okay, that's what thing. Now, next, composting. Composting also reduction of waste to disposal to landfill and incineration. Recovery of useful organic. You all know about composting. It's a very basic thing. Again, disadvantages are bioaerosols, organic dust containing bacteria or fungal spores, emits volatile organic compounds, potential pathway from use or land or contaminants to enter food chain. Discharges may contain organic compounds, endocrine disrupting compounds, heavy metals, pathogenic organisms. Okay, all these things are there. Now, see, these are all proven technologies, but again, why disadvantages? You may ask the question. If you are not maintaining properly, then only these disadvantages will come. If you are maintaining properly with proper SOPs, standard operating procedures on ground, and proper protocols, then these disadvantages will not come into the picture. But basically, to adapt any technology, these are the disadvantages will come, because he has to spend that much money for the technology, right? That is a challenge. Everywhere you see there again money. If you want to spend some technology, you need to hire a good machine. You need to train the manpower. You need to deploy the manpower. So all these things comes into picture. Now next, incineration. Products sources of potable water supply reduces weight and volume of waste. About 30% is left as ash, which can be used for materials recovery. Okay. Now discharges contaminated wastewater. That's how, you know, in incineration, what happens mostly. This is the main challenge in incineration. So it discharges contaminated wastewater. So that's how again managing the wastewater. So that's how the managing wastewater has become a very big challenge for the environmental companies. So incineration is one thing, and then landfill. Landfill again is clean disposal mechanism. Okay, clean disposal, so cheap disposal method for the landfill, because landfill you just dispose it like that. It's very easy for you, right? If you have a landfill, just dispose it off. Then again, disadvantages. The same thing, discharges contaminated wastewater, emits toxic pollutants, heavy metals, and combustion. Both it will apply for both incineration landfill, and water pollution from leachate and runoff. So in landfill, again, what happens when the waste is accumulated in a particular place? Lot of water will come out. That is called leachate. So this is a big problem. Again, if someone wants to do research an environment subject in waste management subject, leachate, you can select as a main subject, because there's a lot of research gaps in the leachate management. Many of the companies have failed in leachate management, even though they are managing the wastes. So now we'll come to the actual subject, the 3 spheres of sustainability. How we have to maintain these challenges, how we can overcome these challenges. So in order to overcome these challenges, first thing we need to balance these economic, environmental, and social aspects. We need to balance. So the ability to meet the present needs without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. This is the definition of the sustainability. Okay. So if you see economic, that means they should be financially viable. Then only you can run the business, right? At the end of the day, everyone wants money. Then when it comes to environment, no unsustainable environment degradation. Then comes to social, community support for initiatives like NGOs and everyone, they come into the picture. So these 3 spheres will form the sustainability. These 3 spheres will define the sustainability. This is the one thing. Sorry, you can keep it in mute. Thank you. Okay, now for these 3 things, who are the priority players? Now you see, this is very interesting. If you see, a lot of organizations have studied this. Like if you see, who are the priority players in the waste management industry? NGOs, private sectors, and social enterprises. So NGOs, I mentioned 1, 2, and 3: social, economical, environmental. That means NGOs will prefer, the first priority will be the social. Okay, for the social cause, they are actually established for social cause, right? I don't know, nowadays NGOs are making money more than private companies. That's a different thing, but basically NGOs have evolved for the social cause. Then they think about economic activity, how we have to make money out of it, and then they think about environmental aspects, how to save environment. Because I'm not only talking about specifically a waste management NGO, a general environmental NGOs, I'm saying. So maybe, may not be. So maybe the third point will come to second, and second point will come to third. But this is the order of preference that many of the publications, many of the organizations like Deloitte, Ernst and Young, Frost and Sullivan, and they have researched some surveys, and they found out this is the scenario nowadays. Now, if you see private sectors, first they want money. Okay, that we all know that And then they think about environment. Okay, we have to take care of environment because we are doing business with that only. And then they think about social aspects. Okay, then they think about the societal benefits. That is the last priority for private companies. So what happens if society is lost? I am making my business, I am protecting the environment to show the government, yes, I am doing good. So that's how the mindset. Now, if you see the social enterprises, again, social and environmental and economical. So these are the priorities. Normally, any environmental, any environmental NGOs or private sectors or social enterprises will prefer to go on. So you see this, the light bulb movement is now dead. You see, you understand why I'm mentioning this. Loss efficient, okay, no longer will be illuminate our ideas, right? So we need to be creative. We need to think now. Jo ho gaya, wo ho gaya, bas. So now we have to think what is new. Let us start with fresh ideas. Let us start with new ideas. Let us start something with the synergistic ideas which will move the momentum further. So Ecopreneur, as I mentioned, Ecopreneur whose business efforts are not only driven by profit, but also by concern for the environment. Okay, so Ecopreneurs, they mostly think about environment. So nowadays, Ecopreneurs have shifted their mindset from profits to environment because they are forced to shift their mindset from the profit to environment because they are facing a lot of challenges. As I told you, example, a company, it is doing some waste management business, but we are getting a lot of problems there from the society. They are getting a lot of cases from the court and from the public that your waste is giving a smell, you don't have proper technology, your waste is from water is coming out, leachate is coming out, it is polluting our water level, all these things. So what happened, these waste management entrepreneurs, they got into trouble. So they got into trouble and now they are focusing most on how to solve the problems, environmental problems. See how the nature, the God has automatically turned everything upside down. So everything comes back. That's what we say. So again, they are thinking to how to solve the environmental problems. If they solve the environmental problems, automatically the profits will be coming to the organization. That's how the word ecopreneur has evolved. Now, there are also common terms for ecopreneur, the sustainability, environmental entrepreneurship, or eco-capitalism. The capitalism means whatever they keep the amount, green innovation. So these are the different terms for ecopreneur. Now, everyone is calling someone, you see, they call themselves as manager, they call it senior manager, something like that. Ecopreneur, they themselves call them in such terminology. So these are not different terms, they are the same terms which are evolved from there. Now, if you see traditional business models, what happened? Linear system. Linear system means I manufacture a product, let's say a chocolate, I give it to you, you eat it, and you throw the cover. That's it, end of the story. That is a linear system. That's all, chapter is gone. And we don't know where that cover gone, and we don't know who ate it and who made it. We don't know. That is the linear system. Externalizes resource extraction. Okay, whatever the resources are there, we are further trying to extract the resources. Externalizes wastes and environmental costs are discounted. We are discounting environmental costs. We are not bothered. Let it be. So these are the traditional business models. Now, sustainable business models, what happened nowadays? Linear system to circular system, like EPR, reverse logistics. Circular system means, as I told you, I manufacture a chocolate, I give it to you, you eat it, and the wrapper, again, I will go and collect it from you, and I will reuse that wrapper. Okay, that is called extended producer responsibility. EPR means extended producer. That means a producer whoever is producing the product, he will extend his hands, okay, with a responsibility to hold back the raw material back to him. And he will use the same wrapper, don't throw it, give it back to me. I will use it for my new chocolates. That's how the process, like you see cool drinks companies, bottle, all these companies now they are practicing this EPR. And reverse logistics is nothing but you go to deliver the product, again you go to bring back the product. That's how now Amazon and everyone are also planning. When you give you the parcel, they will request you to open it. Now they are not started, they are just thinking of. They request you to start open the product and take it. If you're happy, please keep the pack with you, and we will go come and collect the pack again. So that's how the reverse logistics. So they will add 1 rupee, maybe 1 rupee extra to that. That doesn't matter to us, right? When we are spending 100 of rupees, adding 1 rupee to it to collect it back, and we will also save the waste, not to accumulate in our house. So that's how the reverse. That is how the circular system. So linear systems are converting into circular systems. That is very important. That is how the sustainability. Then only we will sustain, right? So that is how the sustainability business models. Acknowledges resources must come from the system. Okay, means we will think that resources should come back from the system itself, from the waste itself. Whatever I throw, it should come back to me from that system only. Then only I can at least save 50% of my cost, 50% of my raw materials to purchase. And your time also it will save. Now, acknowledges wastes are fed back into the system. Wastes must be fed back to the system, like composting and everything. It should come back to the system, and you recycle it and process it something, and you convert it something and reuse it. Environmental costs included and accounted. There, in traditional business model, it is excluded and it is discounted. Here, environmental costs are included and accounted. That's how you see in some companies, if you notice, some companies, they are now adding environmental costs also. For packaging, for recycling, 2 rupees, they're adding 3 rupees, 5 rupees, they're adding to in order to include those costs, because they are environmental friendly products. That's why even environmental friendly products are little slightly costlier than normal products. That's how no one will buy. If we are really eco-conscious, we will buy. Otherwise, no one will buy. Then greennovations. Greennovations is like, green, it's again related to environmental and innovations, something like greennovations, they have termed it. Now, principles of ecopreneurship: energy and resources use efficiency, eco-efficiency. Okay. This word is coined by World Business Council on Sustainable Development. Okay. Eco-efficiency, basically, eco-friendly is about decreasing waste, okay, and increasing the productivity. That is called eco-friendly. Could also be extended to cradle thinking, where waste from one process becomes the raw material for other. You see, if you go to any industry, I don't know how many of you are aware of that. That is a lack of our education. Basically, we don't go to any industry and we don't see the processes. Hardly, I'm sorry to say, today nowadays even PhD students also cannot say how the particular material is formed. Very simple thing, like let's say sugar. We know only where is the waste going, how is reused. That means what's happening is, for one product to manufacture, we need certain raw materials. Use those raw materials and manufacture a product. And while making the product, there are a lot of byproducts and end products will come out, right? And that end product will maybe a useful product that consumer will use. But whatever the byproduct and the wastage, whatever it is there, that may be useful for some other company. So that is very much important. That is cradle to cradle. That means that end product is a cradle. It will go to cradle. Again, the cradle to cradle means that product should exchange between that, because that product is again new to the other company. It will be a raw material to the other company. This is how the waste mapping should be done. Otherwise, companies will not survive. If I manufacture a product and throw it, it doesn't make any sense. I must think, who might use this? Because I'll get money also if I see it. That's how the company works. If you see a lot of C&D waste companies, construction and demolition waste companies, and if you see paint industry, whatever byproducts are coming, they are again selling it to different companies. You yourself can do this research on this, and you can find a lot of list of this. So like you see fish, chicken, meat, someone is taking those fish scales, pharma companies, when you go to a fish shop and buy a fish, and those, he will remove the scales, the guy, and those scales are collecting by some other company, pharma company, or because they are medicinally used. So that's how we need to, the waste will flow from process to process. Now in nature, one-way linear flows do not long survive, nor by extension, like, because linearity will not survive for long. Only the circular system will be surviving, and it will give the economy to the for the sustainability of any business, and in order to redesign, recycle, or reuse any materials. So this is the only way for the sustainability. Now again, reducing waste, solid waste, liquid waste, energy waste, and reducing emissions. We have carbon emissions, air pollutants. We have reducing use of hazardous chemicals, and the reuse of industrial waste as raw materials, sustainable raw materials, sustainable energy use, reducing excess and waste. So these are all principles where you need to practice, adapt in any industry by any environmental company. Okay. Nature's function and diversity are not systematically subject to increasing concentrations of substances extracted from the Earth's crust. This is a very, very important point. If you understand this very deeply, see, nature's function and diversity, the natural systems are there. Substances extracted from the nature. Nature's function and diversity are not systematically subject to increasing concentration of substances produced by society also. Okay, and nature's function and diversity are not systematically impoverished by physical displacement, over harvesting, or other forms of ecosystem manipulation. So whatever the natural systems are there, it is it is not extracted. They are not limited to the earth's crust, or they are not produced by the society, or they are not by the ecosystem manipulation. Okay. Are undermining the capacity to meet. Okay, so because see, we need to practice sustainability, because in order to have all these technologies, all these practices, all these policies to be adaptable, like what I mentioned, EPR, reverse logistics, and whatever it is, we need to you see, for example, renewable energy these days, what we are discussing, it's a very big topic, even at the recent conference also, okay, in Paris. So what happening is, we can't stop renewable sources at a time. We can't stop it, because that's the only way for us, because the non energy, because they are very costly for us in order to adapt. Because if you want to buy a electrical vehicle, it is very costly, right? You cannot buy. Slowly you have to bring down, step by step. You have to bring down, and then you need to get into that. So the transition should take place very slowly, step by step, not immediately. Now, what are the main challenges for ecopreneurship? Technology lock-in. Okay, the technology, no invention, revenues and funding, stale thinking. Still they think of the old methods, and it's going on. Why we have to invest money and because giving the same product, but they're not thinking that what emissions are bringing up. See, there is for example, I tell you, there is a composting process which I am recently involved. The composting is, basically the organic degradation of your carbon, basically, and they release this organic content. So composting, basically, it takes 30 to 40 days time, or maybe 40 to 50 days time, in order to become a product. Organic waste, in order to convert it to compost, it will take 40 to 50 days time. Now there is a larvae. There is a larvae, black soldier fly. There is a fly called black soldier fly. There is a larvae. This larvae, if you put it in any organic waste, it is converting that waste in 10 days to compost. Just 10 days. Within 10 days, it is converting into compost. So that's how the systems are. That's how the technologies are. So people are thinking, why I have to put it? Even though I follow the old method, even though I put this larvae, the same thing, I'm getting same output. If I put 1 ton of green waste, I'm getting 50 kg of waste. If I put that larvae also, I'll get a 50 kg of waste. So what is the benefit for me? The only benefit is within 10 days your compost is happening. Within 10 days you can sell it off. Within 10 days, that means your revenue cycle, you are increasing your revenue every month, right? So that is the advantage. That's all. Again, you see, in this process, this is a good example for what I mentioned. You need to balance environmental, social, and economical. So these are the things. Social means you are getting rid of green waste from the communities and processing it fast. Environmental is you are doing a very good process, okay, and economical is you are selling the compost in a very fast pace. So this is the balance. So these type of projects will be successful. These are the projects which are sustainable at a long run. That's what I want to insist. Now then, regulatory and policy barriers. There are a lot of regulatory and policy barriers are there. Still now, no one is insisting you have to segregate at your house. Otherwise, I will not collect the waste. Have you heard anyone saying like this? Just imagine if anyone is saying like that, what would be the situation? I will not collect the waste. Even if you give me 500 rupees, I will not collect the waste until you segregate the waste. From the next day onwards, you will just close your nose and then you'll start segregating. So there are no proper regulations and policy barriers. Now, source segregation, training skills, of course, training skills in order to operate the machine, in order to do the composting or biogas or incineration, for the technologies in order to adapt the collection system. There are different types of collection system for the different type of waste, what vehicle to be used to collect what type of waste. So these are the training skills. Low waste collection fee. So people are coming and I think we are paying 50 or 100 rupees to the waste collector. Okay. So which he feels that it will just go to his diesel and fuel price, and his entire day will go for that only. So he's not getting benefited for that. So public mindset, we bargain with vegetable vendor for 10 rupees or 20 rupees, but we hesitate to pay 50 rupees more to the waste collector. That's what we do, right? So municipal corporation support, there's no support from municipal corporations. They'll say that, okay, it's going on. So why we need to keep more effort? Actually, they should come to our place, door to door, give the pamphlets, insist on source segregation, give bins. What happens? Just 50, 100, 200 rupees each bin cost. They have lakhs of budget. 2 bins for each house. If the bins get damaged, they can buy another bin. They can insist like this. So infrastructure, that is what is the infrastructure. Contractual agreements is, as I told, areas, but who will give money to them? There is no proper thing. Now, again, private company will collect the waste, but government will not pay them per ton fee properly. Will not issue proper payments. Okay, and then data management. So how much waste is being generated? Where is the waste going? Who is collecting? What time they are collecting? Each ward, each circle, each zone, each city, how much waste is there? So this data management is also just assumptions. Nowadays, whatever data we get on the books for the waste management, imagine they are just assumptions. As I told you, per capita, we are just assumed per capita. I may not spend 0.6 kg per day. I may not throw it, but you may throw it 0.8 also. So just we made an average of 0.6. Next, manpower retention. As I told you, this is waste business. So no one wants to stay for a long time. They just want to get rid of the smell and odor, and and they want to leave. So these are the basic challenges for the ecopreneurship, ecopreneurs in order to maintain sustainability of their business. Now ecosystem. So we have learned about ecopreneur, but now ecosystem. How this entire system is actually having problem. Low competition market. Okay, so competition market is very low. No one wants to come up and bring some ideas, or no one wants to challenge them. So there is only new competition. One side it is very good actually. There is no competition. It's very good. but only one company has to adapt and think and innovate and implement many things, means it is not possible. So sometimes competition is also good. Leveraging technology and IP. Okay, whatever we are doing, like I told you, a black soldier fly technology. So these technologies, someone have to adapt and someone has to do the patenting. Again, this patenting is very poor in this environmental field. We know patenting, right? We all know patenting. If you invent anything, you need to protect it so that no one will steal your idea, steal your product. It may be design patenting, it may be process patenting, whatever it is. So this patenting is very poor. Lot of people will do a lot of. Now you see, just see, imagine the farmers. Farmers, if you see in agriculture sector, they themselves are scientists actually. They don't depend on any scientific ideas, nothing. They just themselves do it, keep on doing experiments. If any of your parents or any of your relatives are farmers, you can find out they are the real scientists actually. They invent themselves. They make drought resistant seeds themselves. So they know which seed works how and what way. So that's how they are very innovative, they are very creative. But unfortunately, what's happening? Government has kept patenting. Okay, this seed is very good. This is drought resistant. So I want to, this is working very well. Give to the government. We will patent it. So anyone wants to buy this seed should come to us. So this is how they are capturing farmers. This is how the farmers' problem. Otherwise, they are very creative, they are very innovative. So again, diversified business opportunities for recycling, waste to energy, composting, RDF, biogas, etc. So these opportunities are also there. There are a lot of opportunities for the waste management sector to diversify the business. So if you want to enter into recycling, you can start recycling, complete recycling. If you want to do composting, complete composting of your product. So you have diversified business, not only one line of business. Wide employment opportunities, you have employment opportunities are there. An on-site solution for municipalities, ULBs means urban local bodies, small municipalities within the districts, residential, commercial, and industrial waste management. So this is how the ecosystem for any waste management subject works. So what are the growth opportunities? Moving cities from non-renewable energy to renewable energy, thereby conserving natural resources, impacting climate change and global carbon footprint. A global player in waste management for end-to-end solutions, increase in adapting for waste to energy and thereby creating a self-sustainable lifestyle, saving land use and development by avoiding landfilling, zero pollution and feasible logistics. Logistics means the transportation of the waste. So these are the growth opportunities for any waste management industry. Now all the waste vehicles across the cities, they are planning to convert into biofuel or electric vehicles, so that no petrol can be used because waste is too much. Yeah, we have to transport. Already the private people are going to offices and everywhere with their vehicles, consuming a lot of fuel. Now waste vehicles have become very big to challenge 10,000, 15,000 tons for each day from each metro city. Approximately we are transporting on an average per day. That means how many vehicles? Each vehicle will carry maybe 10 tons. So imagine 10,000 tons of waste per day means how many vehicles, how many trips they have to make. So how much fuel is consumed. So that's how now there is a transition going on. You will see in the next few years a lot of changes. You will see in the waste management. So the balance between social, economical, and environmental benefits. Okay, as society grows, its increasing social demand is also. The large resources are being lost as well as the price for growing. The balance between the three economic, social, and environmental benefits recently has been constantly mentioned as a difficult problem for any country. See, managing it is universal. It's not only in a single country. In any country, for any environmental company, managing these three things: social, economical, and environmental benefits. Okay, to gain these things are the challenging factors. Once they balance these three things, then any ecopreneur will be successful. So these are the only things where they need to balance in order to protect, and some purpose for the they need to create some solutions for both economic development and environment protection. Now these are some of the concepts and technologies Okay, I've just listed out that will sustain an eco-opinion in waste management industry in line with balancing social, economical, and environmental aspects. So, if you apply social, economical, and environmental aspects in these technologies, which is lacking today in some or other way, in some or other industry, in some or other country, in some or other way of managing their business, then you can be a successful entrepreneur. Like technologies like zero waste. Zero waste means for example, I say it's composting. It's a zero waste. You can say because nothing is left, right? Once you do composting, nothing is left. And waste to energy, again, waste to energy. Converting waste to energy through incineration, other process. Composting, green waste composting, composting, conversion of fuel to CNG vehicles for transportation of waste, harnessing solar energy, recycling, wastewater treatment, eco-friendly products, biogas, reverse logistics, circular economy, smart waste management. Smart waste management nowadays has become very discussion of subject. That means you keep the bins, okay, and the bin is full. You don't know when the bin is full, so they don't know when to collect the bin. So automatically in your mobile the message will come. In some countries they have adapted actually. The bin is 75% full. The bin is 80% full. When it is 80% full, then he will go and collect. That's how smart. And again, tracking of the vehicles also, like where the vehicle is going, because some people may collect the waste and they may throw somewhere else. So it is very important that you need to track the vehicle, where it is going, from where it is going and where it is disposing. So tracking of vehicles. And when the waste is supposed to the household, someone will complain, hey, my waste is not collected. What is the proof? So there should be some tracking system, like in your bin, let you just keep an RFID chip. Once he collects, he will just scan the code, then he will get a message. The municipality people will get a message. As a household owner, you will get a message, and the person who is collecting, he will get a person who is in charge for the disposal treatment process, he will get a message that yes, this household has been collected, this waste has been collected from this household. So this is a smart waste management system, which a lot of companies are trying to do it, but it all depends on the public mindset. See, we have to show interest. In our house, each of you have to take responsibility, go back to your home, buy 2 bins, start segregating. You see a lot of changes from today. Within next 10 days, you will see a lot of changes. I'm sure it will proliferate. It will spread to other colony members, your neighbors, so you are doing segregation. Then I can tell you, the waste collector will appreciate you. That is the biggest appreciation you will get. Because you are segregating and getting some money, he will tell you. You have to change the world. You need to see the change, be the change. Derive am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you're audible now.
Okay.
Although the presentation is gone.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah. So again, biomining, mechanical biological treatment, biomethanization, 5R. As I told you, 5R, the addition is repurposed, and another thing they are added is refuse. So instead of 3R, now 5R is there. Okay, so you see the words itself, it will tell you. Okay, initially you need to refuse that if you don't need it. Okay, and then try to reduce it, and then try to reuse it and repurpose and then recycle. Hydrothermal carbonization, incineration, gasification. So these are all technologies which are currently adapted in waste management practices across different countries based on the waste characterization. See, basically technologies are adapted based on the waste characterization. Okay, suppose biogas is not suitable everywhere. Composting is not suitable everywhere. So wherever there is a lot of moisture content, then you know, then you can actually go for some process like composting and everything, and you cannot go for a other technologies for wet content. And again, for the dry content, wherever there is a lot of dry content is there, you can go for RDF technology, you can go for incineration process, these things. But otherwise, you cannot adapt a similar technology in a way. There is no thumb rule that this is the technology you adapt. You have to do the waste characterization studies, how much percentage is dry waste, how much percentage is the wet waste. Then only you need to identify the suitable technology available for that and suitable technology uh, adaptable in that region. That's how the system works. So this is the basic fundamental aspect. Remember it, especially for PhD students. If anyone is there, if you want to do research on any technology, you need to do the waste characterization studies. Waste characterization studies are nothing but how much wet content, how much dry content. Again, in the wet content, what type of wet content? Either fruits, vegetables, leaves, shrubs, stems. So again, it varies. The technology to technology and the waste to waste, it varies. Okay, so I'm done with the presentation. Okay, and if you have any doubts, you can please ask me now itself. Don't hesitate. Whatever doubts you have, lot of clarification, not only related to this ecopreneurship, any career oriented you have, anything you need to know from the terms presented in this presentation, you can please. You are always welcome.
Yes, sir. I think Shivam Trivedi has some doubts. He has put some questions in the chat. So if he wants to unmute and speak, that will be nice.
Yeah.
Shivam, can you speak? Yes, okay. So he's saying he can't unmute now. So I'll just go through his questions. He says that, yes. Yes, he says the issue that is that going for a biodegradable disposable bag for disposing of the waste, but ultimately it gets mixed with other waste in the dumping grounds. And he's also asking, what are your views on space dumping?
Okay. See, biodegradable bags, again, as I told you, these are the recycled products. Okay. In order to afford biodegradable bags, the mindset of the people is that normal plastic cover, it is, they are charging 2 rupees. But if I buy a biodegradable, it's charging 4 rupees. So that is the first thing comes into the picture. So if any technology is there where they can manufacture biodegradable bags at very low cost, where people can afford, then it is feasible. That is the reason today we are still not seeing biodegradable bags, even though we talk a lot about that. See, we talk a lot, but we are not able. Why? Because there is some or other challenge. That is the thing. But yes, biodegradable bags are very sustainable solutions, because still in supermarkets we see lot of, if you go to Reliance Fresh, they are actually, you know, giving us the netted bags. I think most of you might be knowing. You take fruits and they are giving netted bags. Okay. And if you Metro, they are giving us paper bags, like cardboard paper bags they're giving. And if you go to any Vijayata supermarket or any supermarket, they kind of plastic cover, plastic bag they're
Yes.
giving. So some supermarkets, they are giving us recycled bags, but what they are doing, they are charging. Okay, I think Vijayata itself, I recently heard, my wife sent me a lot of shopping to get the groceries. That's why I know this. Okay.
Right, sir. Sir,
So,
the question,
yeah,
sorry
yeah,
to interrupt, sir.
yeah.
Sir, but the question, what I feel is, I'm also using that biodegradable polythene, the black one which arrives. So what's the ultimate problem is that when I give it to the VMC, that is Vadodara Municipal Corporation truck, dumping truck, everything gets mixed up. So ultimately it will get mixed in the truck.
Okay.
Maybe the segregation is the problem at times, I feel.
Okay, I didn't get you exactly. Can you please repeat it?
Sir, the main issue I think is that the segregation is the main problem, because
Yeah.
as I'm using that biodegradable polythene, even I suggest my neighbors to use that because it is eco-friendly, at not compared to the original plastic bags which are available in the market, but which are much more better to get degrade in the dumping post or any of the landfill.
Okay.
So the problem I'm facing is if I'm giving to a VMs, that is municipal corporation, they are not segregating it properly. Though I'm segregating it on my level, the people over there are get things mixed up at one point.
See, that's what I told you. See, there should be a cooperation from every end in order to be a successful venture. Even if you segregate at household level, even if you give it to the waste collector, he will mix everything. This is happening. If you see, definitely it is happening in some cities. Most of the cities, in fact, you are nicely segregating and giving him 2 bags. This is plastic, that this is milk.
Even sir, when we were in the final year of our college, I completed my education at the Vidyanagar from NV Patel. So a team of environmentalists or something came to our college, and they suggested that you give some suggestions. So as we were given few ideas. The thing which carried my idea to them was, okay, if we are getting the dumping trucks getting 2 compartments, dry waste and a wet waste, right? So why not divide them odd or evenly, that one day all the dry waste will be collected, or one day all the wet waste will be collected.
Okay, again, here also there is a challenge. It's a good thing actually, but again, here also challenge. That guy has to come 2 times. Who will pay for his fuel costs?
Sir, I understand fuel cost, but what am I saying is alternate day. All they have to do is collect a dry day for a period of 1 day and wet waste for a period of 1 day, right?
Okay, so for 3 days, can you keep your wet waste inside your house?
No, actually.
So if you are prepared for that, see, when there is a solution, we should think holistically. We should think it should be benefit for everyone. It should be benefit for you, for me, and for the society. That's how the solution should come.
Okay.
It is not like odd and even number like in Delhi, number plates, right?
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So I can still see some questions here.
Yes,
The team, someone Vanisri The team should comprise of minimum of how many members being a startup on waste management, and also minimum investment. See, waste management, as I told you, it's a diversified business. Okay, you cannot predict this much is investment is required. This much. It all depends on what kind of business you want to do. You want to do recycling business? If recycling, what type of recycling? Plastics, because for plastics you need different type of machinery, you need different type of land availability, because you need to see whether while processing plastics any emissions are there, so how to control those emissions. For that again approvals, permissions, okay, those are all there, but again to capture these emissions you need to adapt different technology process, and for that again costs are associated. So what kind of business you want to do? You want to collect the waste, you want to buy the vehicles and give it to someone to collect the waste and charge from the government. So what kind of business you want to do, it depends on the business. But yes, what I feel is for the waste management, to do business as youngsters, what you can start with is the segregation and sorting facilities. You can develop neat setting. Segregation sorting facilities. The way waste will come to you, you sort, segregate, give it to NGOs or give it to the traders or give it to some manufacturer directly, Adidas, Nike. You give those companies, they will buy it. They'll buy it. So that's how you have to practice. If you develop that facility, so you can charge per ton, but who will pay you? You need to approach the government. See, this is a government business. It's not a private business, waste management. So you need to approach the government and say, see, I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing a noble cause. I want to segregate the plastics. I will help you. I have the machinery, I have the technology, I have the skill, I have the land, I have the manpower. So now your vehicles are collecting waste from house to house. Please tell them to give the waste to me. Again, they will dump the waste at your place and they go. So if they are segregated waste coming to you, then you can further segregate it. Okay, like PET, PET and LDP, HDP, you can segregate it. But if it is not segregated, again, you will create a dump site at your place, at your factory. So you have to think very clearly what kind of business you want to do and how you want. You have to lay out proper principles, proper strategies, and you can start. But otherwise, to start a waste management industry, you know, one person with his mindset, with his ideas is enough, because a lot of people are ready to work because everyone needs job. So that's how your investment is mainly your mindset and your dedication. That's what I can say. Okay, and
Sir,
biodegradable disposal. Yes, please.
sir, I wanted to ask, as of funding, how much fund will you require initially, and what should we expect initially? From
Okay.
where can we get help in case of the investment? Or I hope you understand.
Yeah. See, to start a waste management industry, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. See, basically, this waste management business will process through tenders. Tenders means what they will do, government will release whoever wants to do business, give your best quote. For example, a colony is there. So, for example, some Lakshmi colony is there. Okay, then that colony, there are some 100 houses are there. Someone has to collect waste from there. So the local municipality will release a tender notice. There are 100 households. You have to collect the waste, segregate the waste, bring the segregated waste to this place, and the next mixed waste to remaining waste to this place. Like that, they will give a tender. Whoever wants to collect, please give us the best quote, best price. Vehicles are yours, or they may say vehicles are ours. Okay, and you need to just put the machines and for segregation and everything. So like that, they'll give some terms and conditions. So based on the tenders, you will the best price whoever will quote, they will win the tender. That is one way of getting the thing. Other way of getting funding is mostly the capital investors. See, there are some capital investment companies are there. If you have a good idea, good technology, what you want to do with the waste. If you are collecting and again sending it to their government will say, I'm doing the same thing. What is the specialty in you? So you have to come up with some idea, no? You have to, okay, you will say, sir, I want to create some recycling equipments. Like as I told you, upcycling store is a very good store. I would love to encourage everyone. You start an upcycling store. There's no stores like that. Very hardly we have very few stores. Upcycling means again damaged products you are recycling them and selling it in the market. So upcycling stores, if you want to keep, yes, definitely. If you have an idea, concept, what are those products, how those products are useful, and who will buy that, what type of range of products you want to use, and what type of material, what is the machinery you have, everything. If you project a project proposal, then there are capital investors are there. Okay, like that's what I mentioned you. You have to see this Shark Tank India. This is an episode, Shark Tank India. So if you see that, you will easily understand. It's a very good episode. A lot of people will come up with ideas. A lot of environmental people are coming with some ideas. They will bring up their idea. They will say, sir, I manufactured this product. I initially sold this, very this thing, very encouraging. So I'm having only 10 lakhs. I need investment for 50 lakhs. You will ask why you want 50 lakhs. Then you need to negotiate because so and so, so and so. So there are some capital investors where they will pay you and they will ask you some percentage. For every product you sell, give me 2% or give me 3%. So that is the only way. Otherwise, if our parents are rich enough, if we have properties, then sell off properties and we have to keep it. That is the only way. There are only 3 ways. Otherwise, there is no other way to get a funding. It's not like a research, CSIR or ICMR, scientific research proposals. We cannot write to anyone to get the funding. But that is the fate of waste management industry. In fact, environmental industry, there is no proper funding structure for this. So these are the venture capitalists. They are basically called as venture capitalists.
And thank you so much, sir.
Oh, sorry, I lost the network in between. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes. There are 2 more questions in the chat. If we can take them up quickly.
Yeah, please.
Nitya is asking, what is the scope after we do masters in sustainability management?
Very good scope, I can say, because sustainability management in different areas, because see, there are a lot of problems in waste management.
Yes. Hello.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
Yeah, okay. So I got a message, internet unstable. Okay. See, there are a lot of gaps in waste management. Like I told you, one thing is the leachate management. There is no proper solution for the leachate management. Second thing is the order from the landfills. There's a lot of order coming from the landfills. We hardly do spraying, and there's some people do chemicals, but there is no permanent solution, best solution for that. So these things, there are a lot of gaps are there. So if you do sustainable management course, not only these things, like it will have a very good career aspect in terms of managing some corporates, advising some corporates, how they can manage their business. Okay, how can they adapt technologies? How can they change the transition? Suppose, for example, one company is practicing a technology and they are following a process. So you as a sustainability manager, you can go and adapt a different process. A simple example I can tell you: go to a company and tell them, starting from day one, whatever you are buying, okay, whatever you are buying, buy only eco-friendly products. Your paper, your water, whatever you are doing, maintain a water, saving account, how much water is being consumed. Okay, develop it. There are a lot of water meters are there. Smart water meters are there, where it will show you how much water you are consuming. So that waste management company, when it is washing the vehicle, it will consume only that particular water. So as a sustainable manager, you can adapt these practices to them. A lot of things. And zero waste, how can they maintain zero waste within their company, with less dustbins and with less waste generation. How can they save their costs? So that is the scope of a sustainable manager. So you can apply your scope very good, and there is a very good course actually. Sustainable management is a very good course, I can say. It's a good choice. Yeah. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Also, the same person, Nitya, is asking, how can a wildlife science student work towards waste management sector and sustainability?
Sorry, how can a wildlife student
Work towards waste management sector and sustainability sector? I think it is answered already.
Okay. These days,
Same person, Nitya.
engineering students are doing marketing, and MBA students are doing call center jobs. Okay, so there is nothing wrong in doing sustainable management or waste management course by wildlife. However, it is not related, may not be much related, but there is no barrier to do this course. This course is open for everyone. This course, even for MBA students, engineering students, science students, anyone can take this waste management course at any age. There is no age bar, there is nothing like that. A lot of certification courses are also there. Okay, so you can take this course. That's not nothing wrong with that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I think all the questions are done.
Okay, just I'll take some time to briefly explain about my foundation because I don't want to take much of your time in the beginning to start the session. See,
Yes,
Ashita Bhai Foundation is basically we started to help students. Okay, it started with students because you are the source. What we did is the questions what you're all asked, it was there in my mind when I was a student. I was a biotechnology student once, and after that I worked in some research centers. Personally, I'm just mentioning about myself. I worked in CCMB and IICT and these research centers. I worked for some time. I thought to become a scientist. That was my dream. May not be a noted scientist, but at least within the group of scientists I want to be. But unfortunately, I couldn't clear national level eligibility examinations and all these things. There were challenges at that time. CSR examination was very, it was like an MSET exam, the medical examination, something like that. So at that time, there was a big boom, environment and waste management. Okay. So then I thought, why don't I prefer this subject? Because I need not grow my beard and mustaches and sit at home and do research with pipettes, DNA, RNA. Instead of that, let me try to environment because the booming subject sounds interesting. That's how I started taking some training programs like biodiversity, climate change, all this stuff. And then I fell in love with waste management, and that's how I got into the waste management subject. That's something about me. Now I saw these challenges. A lot of my batchmates they left. They did, although they did their MSc and PhDs also, they again went to pharma companies and doing as medical reps. Some are working as a call center. Of course, now they are well settled in the same call centers or whatever unknown, irrelevant fields, but they are well settled. No comments, but they have to sacrifice that interest somehow in some corner. They always feel that, oh, we couldn't settle well in their own respective field. So then I thought, well, where is the gap? The gap is the awareness. Now, today, students don't know what course they have to take. They don't know what institute is the best to take this course. They don't know what happens later after doing this course. They don't know where to apply the job. And in order to apply the job, they'll ask experience. They'll ask, did you do any project? In order to do the project, no one will allow you to do the live project. Everyone is copying and pasting. Is it right? So this is happening. This is happening. Even engineering students, you take graduate students. This is happening. So there is no proper awareness where to go and how to settle. But today, even if you take a journalism, if you see magazines, there are environmentalists who are journalism. No, have you ever thought, any of you, I think 100 students are there now, or maybe 50, any of you might have thought there is a career in journalism, environmental journalism, you can become a journalist by doing this course? No one, because we think environment means, okay, only laboratory testing, some studies, okay, little bit about waste management, there are no jobs. No, it's nothing like that. There are a lot of jobs. You can apply this field in every sector, I can tell you, every sector, government sector, private sector, you have a lot of scope. Today in every municipality department, there is a consultant, there is an environmental engineer, there is a environmental specialist. Okay, so there are 4 or 5 positions created in each municipalities. And if you take a private companies, yes, definitely it depends on if it is a laboratory, you have laboratory positions. And if you take any social organizations like magazines development, like, you know, writing research articles, lot of magazines are there, scientific magazines are there, environmental magazines are there. You can become a content writer, you can become a environmental journalist, you can do journalism in ecology or environmental. Even someone told that sustainable management, yes, if you do that, you can be, you can there are a lot of magazines on sustainable management, you can be an author for that, you can be an editor for that. So there are a lot of scopes are there, a lot of scopes are there. So don't think that they are very narrow scope. Like engineering students, we also environmental engineering, even environmental engineering, environmental science, whatever it is, we have a lot of scopes, wide scopes are there. If you really look through, and if you are serious about the course, you yourself will find out a lot of areas. Then you can contact us. If you have any clarification, you can mail us. I give the mail ID and we will guide you. Okay, don't worry, we don't charge you anything for guiding or anything. Okay, so that's how basically we have evolved. So in order to create awareness for students, we went door to door, we went college to college, and we thought what is environment subject, what is biodiversity, what is waste management, okay, what is pollution, everything, what a lot of topics we have given seminars, workshops, okay, and we assisted, and slowly after students lost hope on life sciences, lot of students hope lost on life sciences, they are now diverting to environment and waste management. It's good that, because this is the area now which is showing life to many of the students. So then we started, you know, nurturing them with options like research. They want to go for research or study abroad or entrepreneurship or employment opportunity. So starting from resume preparation, starting from guiding them through the courses, internships, we provide internships also. We are designing some waste management courses also, and we are certifying those courses, and we are giving live internship projects in waste management industries like composting, biogas. We work with them, experts. So we are giving completely career-oriented solutions in waste management, specified in waste management. Otherwise, if you are not very specific to waste management, even for environmental industries like biodiversity survey, EIA, EMP, that also we are providing you services for the career-oriented courses and internship opportunities. So that's how we started our journey. And students too, now we are focusing on industries, how industries are managing waste, how much waste are generated in industries, where the wastes are going. So we are doing some survey, studies, research, and we are able to publish a directory of wastes, which is not there with, very shameful that which is not there even with the pollution control board, which is not there at even the TERI, which is not there at any universities. Basically, electronic industry, paint industry, cloth industry, leather industry, you take a lot of industries, sectors, they do products, right? So from those products, there are waste generated. So where those wastes are generated, actually how many wastes are being generated, how many types of wastes are generated, how much approximate quantities, where they are going, they are just putting in the water, rivers, lakes, oceans, water, wherever they find water bodies. So where they are going, no one is thinking about that, because they are paying right to the authorities and saving this thing. So we want to develop a directory of sectoral industries, and then we want to see where this waste is going and who can use these wastes. This company waste, who can, that was waste mapping it's called. So waste should not go anywhere. It should go to some companies for useful. Then they themselves will make business. So that's how the sustainability. So that's what we are doing some studies, and then we are introducing some waste management courses, sustainability courses and training programs also. So now we are doing services for industries also, for waste management surveys, preparing waste management plans for malls and everything. So malls, theaters, and whoever is interested for waste management plan, because now definitely every municipality will make it a mandate that you should have a waste management plan to renew your trade license. You are doing business, you will have a license, right? Every year you have to renew your license. So while renewing your license, you have to show how much waste is generated every month. Where is that waste going? What is the proof? Everything, to whom you are giving. So that you have to show your record. That's how the systems are able to come. Regulations, very soon the regulations will come very strictly. So there's a lot of scope in this. So that's how we do our journey is.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Sushant sir, thank you so much for your valuable time, and it was a great session. I hope this is going to help for every student who have participated in this webinar. So, and it was great to hear about your organization. So thanks for all your presentation. And I would like to say that there is one more event coming up on this next weekend. So we will put the event details in your WhatsApp group. So thank you very much for everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. I try to not bore you as much as possible. So I hope you enjoyed the session, and anytime you're welcome to approach me. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much, Sushant sir, for the wonderful event. Hope to work with you in future as well. And thank you so much, all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you.
Actually, we are running out of time. So thank you so much, everyone. And we will send you the details of our next event. If you wish to join, do join up for that. See you there, and thank you.